Yes, hello, Mina. Yes.
Hello. Um, Thank you so much. It's so amazing how you spoke exactly about this that I was today going on. I had a friend. He always said, "Thank God, these terrible things that I experienced never happened." And we always laughed about this saying. And more, I realized this because there is really all these things that we take for granted and for real never are real. We take a situation, we go in our mind, we make things about that, and it's all happening here in, and we think badly about the person, we think they don't like me, and at the end our whole life is a construct of such things that really are not real. And more I realize what this means, that this ego, this I, is not real. This phenomenon that I think I am and continuously is going on as this same person is not real, is made up.
Mhm.
And it's so funny, and so many tragical moments in life, really. Um, they start to turn in another light or in another
Yes.
seeing.
Yeah. So the question arises about how do we live this waking dream in a sweet, loving, kind, intelligent manner? How do we relate with each other? How do we relate with the world? Is it possible to express oneself, to engage, not from the sense of separation, but from wisdom, from intelligence, from love? And sometimes our expression can take on the appearance of uh, not always a very sweet. There is love behind telling your child, hey, don't get close to the stove, don't get close to the fireplace, because the child needs to be uh, in a very clear manner admonished not to get their hand close to the hot stove. It may appear sometimes that we are not loving, but that's just on the surface. What's important is that within we're not engaging from upsetness or anger, negative emotion of fear. Then it's very sweet and to engage with each other. Sometimes there can be misunderstanding, Somebody may say something that we do not agree with, but they're not coming from a place of aggression or resistance there. So it invites us to take a look. We don't know, we should not be so quick to make a judgment about the other, but to listen carefully and without being so certain about your mind. Because the mind is shifty, shifts. To listen from a different place and to be open to the understanding that from a higher perspective, all is well. So that internally there is peace. And from that peace, we can navigate our relationship with our children, or our relationship with our partners, and at work, in life. And the expression can vary, you see. But what matters is that we are anchored in the peace. The interpretations of the mind very often they are contaminated by the me belief. What he did to me, and I'm such a good person. Why? Yes.
But it's also the contrary. Also, what for me is much more difficult to accept is what I did to him, or what I did to her.
Yes.
So to this position of guilt and of why I did not make it otherwise, why I was not so awakened to see the situation in another light, and like that. This is also very, very heavy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's now, for example, only now in my life, you know the story with my son, and I threw him out of my home, and now he is on the way in Europe. I have not seen him for 5 months, and there comes something this moment when it arises in me why I did that, why I couldn't not understand him and take him as he is, and all this.
Right. Yeah, I mean, guilt and pride, they're all reflections of the same thing. And, of course, what is this me, you know? Why did I not make the right decisions 10 years ago? But what is this me? I mean, right now, how do we make our decisions?
Yes.
You know, thoughts appear to us, we perceive things. And right now, there is the wisdom that there is. And maybe 10 years from now, it will be very different understanding about things, about life, about ourselves, about the world. We cannot act now from a different wisdom than the wisdom that we have. The best we can do. If right now we are wrapped up in our fears and we are acting out of fear, well, that's our understanding at this moment.
Yes.
You know, if right now we're regretting, you know, what we did in the past, it's possible that there is understanding that this regret is false. because we did the best we could 5-10 years ago. And of course, this regret can also be an expression of love, that we wish the best for our son, I wish the best for my children. So it's not just like punishing ourselves. It's an expression of love. Oh, I wish I knew better. Okay, well, it's okay. Me too. I wish I knew better. But, it's, I can't know what I don't know. And I can't know now what I will know in 10 years from now at the mind level.
Yes.
But we are very grateful for the glimpse into truth, into reality, into God, into our essence, that the essence of your son is your essence, and that your son is not a physical entity. Your essence is God's creation and his mind, his life, his experience. It's all God's creation. It's all it comes from the source. And his life and his path is meant exactly for him, just as it is, in a similar way that your life and your path was meant exactly for you as it is, to lead you to where you are now, to lead you to some understanding, to lead you to some awakening about your true self, about love, about reality, about compassion. So it's all good. It's all perfect.
Yes.
And I love the dream analogy, because in the dream, you're dreaming yourself, you're dreaming your son, you're dreaming other people, you're dreaming events, you're dreaming all sorts of activities, you're dreaming all sorts of thoughts, you're dreaming people succeeding and failing, you're dreaming peace and war. It's all the creation of the dreamer's mind.
Yes.
Similarly, in this life, it is the waking state is very similar. Your mind, your son's mind, my mind, everybody's mind, thoughts, perceptions, sensations, they're all part of the universal waking dream. I am not dreaming my thoughts. I'm not creating my thoughts. I'm perceiving the thought. Not creating the world, I perceive the world. So what's beautiful is that we can learn within the dream to engage from a place of love and compassion and understanding. So it's very important understanding that all is well for your son, and all is well for you, and everything that you've done is perfect, designed perfectly by the great master. So we say, yes.
Yes.
And the love is never dies. Love is truth. Truth is love, and love is truth.
Yes. Beautiful. And I often feel the last days this going into the ocean, and this realizing that in the depth of the ocean there is no movement, there is always still, and
Yes.
up there is this movement, but here,
Right. Yeah. And what's lovely is when this deep stillness and peace is revealed to us, other people feel it in one way or the other. It's a contribution to the healing of universal healing. So rather than spinning in the mind, in the past, in the me story, we are as presence, as being, and that's the best gift you can give to your son.
Yes.
I remember like years ago, goodness, in the late 70s, I was hitchhiking all over the country in the US. It was a different time than now. It was just after the Vietnam War thing, and there was a sort of a youth revolution. I was hitchhiking, and I was having such a wonderful time, and also a deep exploration, of and I would send these postcards to my mom, hey mom, I'm right now in this little town, I just walked for 4 miles and somebody picked me up, and we had this conversation. So I would send her these postcards. And a couple of years later, I met with my mom, and I was talking with her, and she shared with me that how miserable she was in receiving my postcards, and
Oh,
she was so worried and afraid about me. And I was trying to share with her how happy I was. I was. Oh, goodness. I just hug her. It's okay. She was so worried. I guess that's what mothers do.
maybe it's good he's not sending me postcards.
Right.
Be quiet.
Yes, right.
Coming.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, it's all good.
Yes. Thank you so much. I'm so happy.